on the fumble and the final pickup by Godbolt. And it remains to be seen whether the Leopards would want to give the Engineers 4 more downs to play with.
Well, with 41 seconds left, it may not make much difference. I think they'll probably take the 5 yards.
Ball is brought out to the 10-yard line, and
offense, 5 men in the backfield. First down over.
Well, 5 men in the backfield. Decent strategy if you can get away with it, Jerry, but the Engineers could not. And so the ball is back at the 10-yard line.
They have Ben to the left again. Again, it may well be that they'll go to the corner of the end zone.
Clock is ticking back. Back to throw, up the middle, completed at the 5-yard line, but not much forward yardage, and the ball only ends right back where it started again at the 7. Actually, a pickup of 3 on the completed pass.
Lehigh called time to stop the clock. Jeff Hunt came underneath along the line of scrimmage. They ran the wide receivers down the field, but fine defense by Lafayette.
It looked for a second here like Hunt's got all kinds of running room, but Wagner did a very nice job in coming up and preventing much yardage on that play.
Hunt throws the ball, does catch Lafayette inside, but the reaction of the Lafayette secondary
is Wagner and Hanley finally made the tackle.
The problem when you're throwing this far down to the goal line is there's very little room for the defensive men to go downfield, and they can quickly react back upfield if they have to.
We have 20 seconds remaining to be played here in the first half. Lafayette 24, Lehigh nothing. Stay with us at the half. We'll have an interview coming up with the presidents of both Lafayette College and Lehigh University. We'll be chatting with Dr. David Ellis, Lafayette's president, and Dr. Peter Likens, Lehigh's newly elected president. So stay with us at the half for these interviews with the 2 leaders of both Lehigh and Lafayette College. Lafayette took a 3-0 lead in the football game on a 23-yard field goal by Petty, and then 3 consecutive touchdowns. A 14-yard pass by Gatehouse, a 92-yard romp by Priest, and a 54-yard interception by Hanley gave the Lafayette Leopards 3 in a row. 2nd down and 7 now. Horn gonna run again, but will he run out of room? Finally throws it at the goal line, and it is incomplete. The pass was intended for, I believe, Davidson. And he really threw into a crowd right at the goal line.
Chris Hanley looked like a basketball player there, jumped way up in the air and got his right hand down.
See Horn running. I thought he was going to go to the end zone, but he pulled up and he threw across the grain, and Davidson was there, but right over the top, Lafayette defender was able to knock it away at the goal line.
Nice pressure put on Horn there by John Anderson, the freshman linebacker for the Leopards.
12 seconds remain here in the first half. 3rd and 7. Lehigh desperately trying to get on the board, trailing 24-0. Horn is being chased, gets out of the pocket, throws low and incomplete. That will stop the clock. Lehigh will get 1 more play from the 7-yard line with 6 seconds to go.
That was simply desperation. Horn was being chased by Green and Gutman there, had to get rid of it. The only one that really had a chance for it at all was Bob Starr, the defensive safety.
And Lehigh has called timeout with 6 seconds remaining.
Well, Lehigh has foregone the field goal twice now, and based on the conversation that's going on in the sideline, it looks like they're going to do it again.
Lafayette has done something today defensively that has been very interesting. They've shuffled an awful lot of players in. In fact, in this last series, they've been playing with 2 freshman defensive tackles. Steve Dunbar at left tackle and King at the right tackle spot. Lehigh has not had very much success with the field goal this year anyway, so that may be part of the reason for not going for it at this time.
And so the Engineers, if they have one in their playbook, are going to have to find it here at the 7-yard line, trailing in the game by a score of 24-0. And as Ed mentioned, this game has not only been highlighted by good offensive play by Lafayette, but their defense has been superb, and the Leopards will get another opportunity to show that here in this 4th and 7 situation.
One of the problems Lehigh is having right now is that their success passing has been in the seams between the linebackers and the defensive backs, and down here at the goal line, no seams exist. There's just not enough room.
You just cut the field so far short, there's nowhere to go for that outside receiver.
The stands are standing, or the people in the stands are standing, as Horn fades back to throw it, He is being chased to the sidelines. A desperation pass into the end zone is incomplete. There are no flags down, and that should end the first half as Lafayette's defense rallies to hold off Lehigh in the closing moments of the first half. And
very strong. I'm sorry, Phil. Very strong defensive pressure put on by Rich Doverspike from Pittsburgh.
And the score at the end of the first half here at
Ryan Priest there on this opening second half kickoff.
This is the first kick that Lehigh's made all day. Dave Mellick, the freshman, will be kicking off. Lehigh has not been able to get the ball too deep downfield this year on the kickoffs and has somewhat been hurt by field position after the kick.
It's kind of unusual for Lehigh, isn't it, Jerry? They've had such a strong kicking game over the last 10 or 15 years that they just have had their problems with that end of the game this year.
Okay, so whatever time is going to be kept on the field. Now they may have it operational. They're clicking down, and I think they may wait because apparently it may be fixed. So we're going to delay, and we may have a clock after all.
It's amazing. Two schools with strong engineering programs can't get clocks to work.
Well, we got one going. Now we got it going. I believe now it's operational. And Mellick will kick off for Lehigh University. Drives a long kick coming down the field. And the ball is picked up at the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And breaking all the way. And a fine opening kickoff run by Green of Lafayette to get the football game underway.
Dave Mellick saved a touchdown for Lehigh. As I just said, the special teams have had some problems, and is a perfect example. Lafayette almost broke it.
Darrell Green, the 5'11", 170-pound freshman running back from Silver Spring, Maryland. As I mentioned earlier, he and Ryan Priest have really added a whole new dimension to Lafayette with their ability to run back kickoffs and punts this year.
And the ball is run back into Lehigh University territory at the 49-yard line. Now it's a slot right in the eye. Inside formation is Williams. Fake is to Kuyos. Back to throw. Novak. And he throws at the 40-yard line. And I believe we have a completed pass. Fine completion at the 40-yard line. The ball dug right off the turf.
Frank Corbo, the receiver. Frank is a sophomore, 6'1", 180 pounds from Seaside Heights, New Jersey. Here we see Novak rolling left. I don't know how he got this ball into Corbo. He was well defended. That is the first pass reception today by someone other than Jack Gatehouse for the Leopards.
Ball is at the 40-yard line. It's second down, less than a yard to go. Williams is the inside man. Kuyos is the deep back for Lafayette in red. Or maroon, as you more properly would put it. Kuyos has the first down and a lot to spare. He drives across the 35, gets down to the 31-yard line. Mecca coming in to make the stop for Lehigh.
Lehigh has really done a great job in bottling up Nick Kuyos today. That 8-yard run is far and away his best run of the day.
Ball back at the 32-yard line. Third quarter just underway.
That, by the way, Shell, just got a note that is Nick Kuyos' 1,000th yard for the season. He has 30 yards for the day.
Here's Novak, not afraid to throw it with 24-point lead. Long one into the end zone, incomplete. Pass was intended down there for Corbo again, down around the 5-yard line, and it was wide.
Corbo was open. He had a couple of steps there, but the ball is just a little bit overthrown.
.13.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. The 118th meeting between Lehigh and Lafayette. The Leopards won last year by a score of 10-3. Lafayette leads by 16 games in this long series. Dates back to 1884 when the first one was played. And apparently things were not right for Novak, and he's going to call timeout and make it right. Timeout on the field. Let's take time in for Jerry Berger from Lehigh.
Thank you, Shell. Lehigh Lafayette football always means the fall sports are about over and the winter season is at hand. Sunday, Lehigh's men's basketball team hosts McGill University of Montreal in Stabler Center at 3 p.m. And the hockey squad meets Pennsylvania at the Allentown Ice Palace with a face-off at 4:15 p.m. Monday, the women's basketball team opens its schedule against Allentown College in Grace Hall at 7 p.m. Tuesday, the wrestling team has its final trials in Grace Hall at 7:30. The men's swimming squad is at Westchester for a 4 p.m. meet, and the women's swimmers visit Bryn Mawr. Rifle, squash, and indoor track squads also will be busy during the winter months.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. Time back in at the 32-yard line. The Leopards on the move have it 2nd down and 10 as Novak finally has things straightened out. I formation. Back to throw. Screen pass, and it is low and incomplete at the 32-yard line. Pass underthrown. No way it could be picked off the ground.
That pass was intended for Nick Kuyos. Normally they try to run that little inside screen to Craig Williams. They've had good success with that.
3rd down and 10. Gatehouse comes back into the lineup for Lafayette College.
You see a lot of shuffling in and out of receivers. Bill Russo runs his plays in with the wideout.
Quinn out of the lineup. And they move into the shotgun formation this time. Now they shift out of it. Now back into it again. Now they're all set. Flank Kuyos and Williams. Flank Novak. Frank's back to throw it. Runs into the pocket. Then out of it. Fumbles the ball. And the Engineers have it. 45, 40, but it's going to all get called back. They're going to say it is an incompleted forward pass.
Now, Joe, I think it's a fumble, but you cannot in college pick
You
the
can't
ball up and run with it.
It was a matter of whether his arms was in motion, and the Engineers, although they don't get the touchdown out of it, do get the ball back at the 35-yard line.
It was picked up by Mike O'Hagan, but the big hit was from Luis Ramirez. You'll see from the blind side, Luis Ramirez, 6'2", 230, comes back and hits Novak just as he was about to throw the ball. And Mike O'Hagan scooped it up on the run, but in college football, you cannot advance a fumble.
And so the Engineers take the ball back at the 35-yard line to thwart that rush by the Lafayette Leopards. Marty Horn is back to throw, and he's got a completion. Osler, 40, and goes out of bounds, very close to 1st down territory at the 44-yard line.
Lehigh's come out throwing, and the game captain, John Osler, big fullback, first time they've thrown him today. They faked into the line, and Osler slipped through the secondary, caught the ball in the flat for a big gain.
2nd down and 1. 1st down yardage. Godbolt has plenty and moves into Lafayette territory at the 48-yard line.
Eddie Godbolt, the senior from Bethlehem Catholic, has had a fine game so far. In the first half, he carried 19 times for 65 yards.
You know, we go back to those first half stats. Lehigh actually had 2 more first downs than Lafayette, and they did have some success moving the ball, as they continue to do now.
Ball at the 49-yard line. 1st down and 10. Back to throw goes Horn, and the chase is on. He finally uncorked it, and it is intercepted at the 37-yard line. And once again, the ball is taken back by the stellar Leopard defense. And I believe it was Wagner for Lafayette.
That's right, Shell. Dave Wagner, the senior linebacker from Pittsburgh. That's his 2nd interception of the year. Here we see Horn under pressure. Releases once again. This is the 2nd time Horn has thrown an interception, one under pressure.
Jeff Hunt was the intended receiver and finally managed to bring him down. .12:41 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Ball is given to Kuyos, and he finds the middle of the Lehigh line, picks up a couple of yards, and gets up to the 40.
Also found the middle of John Shago.
I'm a little surprised they've gone with Kuyos the whole way. Bill Russo has liked to put Ryan Priest in for an occasional series to show that the opposing defense a little different look. Priest with a little more speed to the outside. They can go to the outside game, then come back with Kuyos on the inside.
DeSantis out wide. Ball carried across the 40 up to the 43-yard line by Kuyos. We'd like to welcome the viewers in WITF TV channel 33, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, enjoying today's football game. And all the fans in central Pennsylvania, as well as in the Lehigh Valley, we're glad to have you here for the telecast of this 118th game between the two schools. 24-0, Lafayette leading here in the 3rd quarter of football at Fisher Field in Easton. Out Out of the slot left now. Play action pass is complete to Craig Williams. He has the first down into Lehigh territory at the 47-yard line. And so the Engineers, on a big play, unable to contain on a 3rd and 4 situation.
Williams is just such a bruiser. Watch out here in the flat. Novak was under some pressure. Dumped the ball off nicely before getting hit. Now watch Williams here. Comes up. Man hits him straight on. Craig simply bounces off and proceeds on his way. He even managed to tuck his head and avoid John Shigo's shot.
1st down and 10 now. Back into the eye they come. Ball is given to the first man through, and Williams a quick opener, and he's got a first down, and he's still on his feet inside the 30 to the 27 on a quick opener, giving it to the inside man. Williams, one of the rare times he's carried the ball out of that in this ball game at least, and he's got about 17 yards up the middle.
Can't say enough about Craig Williams. Nick Kuyos, who has 1,000 yards this year, would be the first to admit that the reason for that is in large part due to the blocking of Craig Williams.
That's by far the best running play that Lafayette's had all day.
I mean, it took a half a dozen white jerseys to finally bring him down, and it was Dave Mecca who put the clamps on him for the first time. So it's 1st and 10. Play action to the right side. A fine completion at the 20-yard line. A pickup of 8 more yards. There's Corbo again grabbing the ball.
Here we see Corbo out in the flat. Just a fine quick out pass from Novak.
2nd down and 3. 10 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Lafayette 24, Lehigh nothing. The pitch is to Kuyos, and he runs into a lot of traffic on the left side and reverses direction and turns a 2-yard loss into a 4-yard gain. He just had a lot of traffic on the left side, just spun around and made off on the other side, and he brought it down to the 17-yard line. 9 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter.
You know, Shell, we talked earlier about that this is the most played college football rivalry. Some of the fans out there may not know why that is. Why is it the most played rivalry and not the oldest rivalry? Of course, that's because these teams used to play each other twice a year in the early days of the series.
And years ago, of course, the oldest rivalry on the basis of years was Rutgers-Princeton, and they stopped playing each other back about 3 or 4 years ago. So we always had to make the distinction in games played, Lehigh and Lafayette, and this, of course, the 118th. 1st and 10 now for the Leopards at the 17-yard line. And again, Williams, same play, first man through. Craig picks up 3 more, driving right up the middle. Gets down around the 13-yard line.
Shigo did the only thing you can do when you're trying to stop Craig Williams, and that's get him at the ankle.
Lehigh's missed several tackles downfield today trying to hit up, and Lafayette's receivers and runners have been able to bump off and keep going.
2nd down and 7. 9 minutes to go, 3rd quarter.
Looks like single coverage on Gatehouse up on the left side.
Ball given to Kuyos, and he's down around the 10-yard line. And once again, it was Shigo to make the stop. Lafayette, a 23-yard field goal from Mark Petty in the 1st quarter, led 3-0. Then the Leopards put 3 more on the boards in the 2nd period. A 14-yard touchdown pass to Gatehouse, a 92-yard return on a punt from Priest, and then a 54-yard pass interception by Hanley. And the Leopards have 24 on the board, and the Engineers still looking to score.
Corbo and Gatehouse both wide left.
On the option, Novak is keeping, and he barely gets back. Makes it to about the 10-yard line. Shigo, Mecca, both in to make the stop for Lehigh in white. And on the 4th and 3, the Leopards will try to probably put 3 more on the boards here.
Lehigh's been very successful in keeping Lafayette out of the end zone on normal drive situations, but the big play has come up and haunted them several times today.
There'll be a 27-yard field goal attempt by Petty. Slight angle to the right. He's already made one and kicked 3 extra points today. It's got the direction, the distance, and it is good. And with 7:25 remaining in the third quarter, the Lafayette Leopards have put 3 more on and lead Lehigh now by a score of 27-0. Timeout on the field. Let's take time in for Lafayette and Ed Wetzel.
Thank you, Shell. Lafayette is one of only 10 independent liberal arts colleges recently selected to receive grants of $250,000 from the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation. The purpose of the Sloan grants is to help Lafayette and other selected colleges better equip liberal arts students to be technologically literate. That scoring drive, by the way, Shell, was 52 yards in 9 plays.
$7:25 now remaining in the third quarter. Lafayette up by 27-0 over Lehigh.
That field goal is going to force Lehigh to score 4 touchdowns in the remaining part of the game. And so far, they've only been close once.
Line shot coming down the field. Ed Godbolt has it at the 10, up the middle, 20. And he drives across the 25, gets out to about the 27.
Tackle on the play by Bill Farley, junior defensive lineman.
Coach John Whitehead will stay with Marty Horn at quarterback. Marty's had some success, but twice he's thrown the ball away in a pressure situation. And I guess that comes with being a freshman.
First down and 10 now for Lehigh. Here's Godbolt finding some room across the 30, gets out to the 32-yard line. Lehigh, of course, has not been shut out this season. The fewest points scored by a Lehigh team was in the first game of the year against Maine when the Engineers scored but 6. They've scored at least 2 touchdowns in every game since. Lafayette, of course, has scored better than 35 points in each of their last 4 games, all of which they have won. Ball carried near first down territory out to the 49-yard line. Osler on the carry.
Godbolt now 21 carries for 77 yards on the day.
You see John Osler. John's had a fine career at Lehigh in Chatham, New Jersey. Here's John, 225-pound fullback.
First down and 10. Horn got some time for a change. Throws it, and he's got a completion up at the 45-yard line. Pass completed to Ben. And ball is brought down into Leopard territory at the 45.
Looks like just a little turn-in pattern right in front of the cornerback Bob Marr on the right side. Horn delivers the ball nicely, right on the mark.
Bill Russo of Lafayette has ball carried up to the 44-yard line. Of course, Bill has coached only one Lehigh Lafayette game. That was last year when the Leopards won 10-3. This is the 7th game that John Whitehead has coached against the Lafayette Leopards, and he has a record of 4-2.
The tackle on that last play was by Mike King, who's a freshman defensive lineman from Butler. Another one of the many players that assistant coach Joe Serra has recruited out of the Pittsburgh area for the Leopard program.
Second down and 8. Marty Horn to throw it. Here's one out. Ben is down there. It's a fight for the ball, but it's picked off by the Leopards. Shar back there. And let's see what happens.
Stepped out of bounds, I think. Shell on the 21.
Ball out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Let's look at it again.
You see Horn dropping back. Again, he's looking for Ben. Slightly overthrows it, and there's a fight for the ball.
Looked like a freshman mistake to me. Shar, of course, is the free safety and has free roam out there. The ball was just lofted up too much. Shar had time to go over from the middle of the field and make the interception. That's Bob Shar's second interception of the day.
And so the Leopards take the ball back at the 21-yard line now with 5:24 remaining in the third quarter. Lafayette 27 and Lehigh nothing. Novak's not afraid to throw it with a big lead. Man downfield. Corbo can't handle it at the 47-yard line. Well, that surprises me a little, Ed.
Well, if you see enough of Bill Russo's coaching, there's never anything that surprises you.
Actually, 27-point lead, ball down in your 19-yard line, one would at least expect. And, of course, I guess that's the reason why I'm up here and he's down there, that they'd be eating up some clock, and he's not afraid to throw the ball. Novak having colossal success this year for the Lafayette Leopards. Second down and 10. Ball once again spotted at the 21-yard line. Draw play, and it's Williams with it, and I don't know how he manages to stay on his feet, and he may just go 79 yards for a touchdown. That play started at the 21-yard line. That just looked like a draw play, a simple draw play to pick up a few yards, and he ends up going 79 yards. Craig Williams, let's look at it. Ball carried right up the middle, nothing fancy about it.
Craig appeared to be completely bottled up on this play and just broke 3 or 4 tackles and on his way. What's surprising about this is the speed that Craig Williams has for a man that's this size.
And it is 33-0, and Petty will try again, and it is good. And with 5:04 remaining in the third quarter, Lafayette is just devastating Lehigh, 34-0.
Craig Williams' longest run going into this game was 20 yards. And here we see on his 79-yard run. By the way, Williams has now carried the ball 7 times for 112 yards today. That was a 79-yarder. Well, after we get done with talking about what a strong running back, strong blocking back he is, and how they primarily use him for that purpose, and Williams comes out and busts up for 112 yards thus far today.
As well as explaining how well Lehigh was bottling up Lafayette's rushing game.
Thanks, Jerry.
Truth hurts.
Actually, Craig Williams deserves all the credit on that one. He was completely stopped. That was a gain of 2 or 3 yards at most.
It looked like he got caught in the middle, and everybody sort of died, figuring he was going to go down, and he was the only one who decided not to.
And so it's a 34-0 football game as the Leopards prepare to kick off again. A line shot coming down the field, and it's going to go out of bounds, and they'll do it all over.
Well, that'll cost them 5 yards, and Wilson will have to tee it up again. This has really been one of the weaker parts of the Lafayette game this year. They've had not had much success getting the ball on the kickoffs, getting it very deep into the other team's territory. It's not unusual at all for the opponents to start their drives between the 30 and 40-yard lines.
And so we have 5:04 remaining as the ball will be kicked off again from the 35-yard line. Both Lehigh and Lafayette got off to rocky starts this year. Lehigh lost the first 4 and then came back to win 4 out of 5. Lafayette lost the first 2 and then came back to win 6 out of 7. And they're well on their way in this one, 34-0. Our statistics go back to 1976. Lafayette has not scored 34 since then, and we'll check that a little later. Again, ball picked up at the 15 by Godbold. He's to the 20. To the 25, and gets across the 30 out to about the 34-yard line.
Eddie Godbold's been one of the real bright spots of Lehigh today in what otherwise has been a dismal day. Here you see the largest point spreads. We're not quite near those yet.
4:58 remaining in the third quarter. Ball at the 35-yard line. Going to throw it again. Tries to run out of the pocket, and he is dropped way back at the 22-yard line. That'll be a loss on the play of, well, nearly 14 yards back to the Lehigh 22.
Once again, Gutman and Doverspike applying the pressure here. Here, Gutman from the outside simply sheds the blocker. Horn just didn't have any receivers and had to scramble.
So now it is a 2nd and 23 situation for Lafayette. For Lehigh, rather, at the 21. On the draw, it's given a Godbolt, and he has nothing at all as King catches him and drops him.
Met abruptly by Mike King.
Lafayette has absolutely dominated the second half. The time of possession in the first half was very quite even. But again, Horn, everyone knows he's either have to pass or come off with a draw. Godbolt gets hit for one of the few times for a loss all day.